Mr. Speaker, the late Honorable Mwai Kibaki goes down in history as the greatest president since independence that this country has ever had. He is an economist par excellence, a Democrat par excellence, and he remains in the annals of our history as the greatest president that this country ever had. Honorable Speaker, the late president moved our economy from the doldrums to a renewed economy that was very robust. And Honorable Speaker, he did that, increasing our revenues from an average of 180 billion shillings to close to 1 trillion shillings without having to arrest a single business person in this country, without having to close down a single business in this country. Unlike today, Honorable Speaker, when our revenues are dwindling and we are closing people's businesses, we are shutting down businesses of the likes of Tabitha Karanja, Humphrey Karaoke, and other innocent Kenyans down in Down Road, Nyamakima, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the late president was a Democrat par excellence, Honorable Speaker. He knew his boundaries between the state that he ran as president and private business. He knew and understood what state capture and conflict of interest was, and he never entertained it during his reign as president of our republic. And we will live to remember Mwai Kibaki, the greatest president of our times. Honorable Speaker, it is sad that today, as a nation rises to mourn the death of President Kibaki, we also mourn the death of the democratic space that he helped open after the dictatorship of the Moi regime. We mourn the death of our economy that he helped to uplift from the doldrums. And in a short 4 years of the handshake regime, the economy has been taken back to where President Mwai Kibaki had lifted it from. How sad it is, Mr. Speaker, that today, as we mourn the greatest president of all times in this country, Honorable Speaker, we also mourn the death of our economy. We mourn the death of our then robust democracy, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, we can only pray that those who tormented Mwai Kibaki, those who said that he's the hands off, ears off, everything off president, at his hour of death, we
Sorry. Member for Emuru Adikir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish also to rise to mourn a great icon, a great president who ever lived in this country. Speaker, even as we look outside there, where the great man is lying, we will remember him for many things, Mr. Speaker. One of the issues that we remember Kibaki, the late Kibaki, with is the change of economy in this country, Mr. Speaker. I think when Kibaki took over, Mr. Speaker, this country was in shambles economically. There were no roads, there were no good schools, there was nothing in this country, Mr. Speaker, which we could be proud of as a nation. Kibaki changed everything, Mr. Speaker. The GDP of this country was changed completely to levels that we can never imagine. Mr. Speaker, the borrowing in this country was stopped and reduced to a level that when he left this nation, Mr. Speaker, this country was not relying on borrowing, unlike what we have currently. Mr. Speaker, he even helped to change the constitution of this country. I remember even before the change of the constitution, he was among those people who fought for multi-party democracy in this country, Mr. Speaker, and we must give it to him. Speaker, even the constitution itself, remember the constitutions are usually changed at times of war, but Kibaki changed the constitution when the country was calm because he accepted that if there has to be a democracy in this country, then we as a nation must accept to change the law. Mr. Speaker, he did a lot in terms of infrastructure. I remember when we used to travel from Narok to Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, we'd go all the way to Nakuru, through Kericho, and then to Kino, and then to Nairobi. But after he took over, Mr. Speaker, he changed all the roads in this country so that each and every road was passable. Speaker, what Kibaki did in a few years, which I think it is only 5 years, he introduced even the free primary education, something which you can't imagine. The current government, which has taken this country for 10 years, has never even improved on the free primary education, Mr. Speaker, not even changing the free secondary education. Speaker, I wish to say, lastly, that Kibaki will be remembered for so many things. And what I'm saying is, even as we remember this great man, those of us who are left behind, suppose this country gave you an opportunity to serve as a president, what will you leave behind? Will you leave a united nation? Will you leave a country that is economically vibrant? Will you leave a country that will remember you for many good things? Or you leave a country that will be in shambles? Speaker, that is a question that must live with us, even as we are closing the term of this 5-year term of members of parliament, going for another election. Speaker, may